Hi everyone, my name is Kenny K. Royal.
And I am Emerald from Sailor Moon. But of course, if you didn't watch Sailor Moon, you don't know who Emerald is.
I was like, who the fuck is Emerald, bitch?
Until you said Sailor Moon. I loved Emerald. She was gorgeous.
I still need to watch the new, or it's not new anymore, but the updated series. I don't know why I haven't watched it yet, especially because I was very intrigued by once you said that it's more closely resembled to the manga than the old school show. Because of how many creative liberties that they took in the old school show.
Yeah, they took a lot of creative liberties. Also, I mean, there were so many episodes. You'll be able to get through this one better because there's literally just I don't know what they call them, chapters. Mm-hmm. There's literally an episode for each chapter. Okay. So you get to the point quicker, and it's, to me, it's beautifully animated.
It is. I've seen like little clips and stuff of it. I never watched the whole thing, but the clips, the animation itself is gorgeous. I just love their transformation thing even more. It just looks like very well rendered on screen.
And also, I mean, it looks just really dreamy, just very beautiful and dainty, if you will say, but which fits the manga, I feel, and I really like it. It's a little bit darker, which of course it was darker, and I'm really upset that they decided not to just make the serialized fourth season and decided to make 2 movies instead, which is very annoying.
Have you seen the movies?
They're not out yet.
Oh. No.
We're still waiting on them.
So I guess it's not too bad to say the new because, I mean, they're still working on it.
Yeah,
I thought they were just done and I would just be able to just binge right through every motherfucking thing.
Well, you'd be able to binge the first 3 seasons, which would be the ones that you'd be familiar with. Yeah. Because, they didn't show the 4th one in the United States. So you would be familiar with those first 3. But your bitch that you like is in the 4th season, which would be in the movies.
Quinn.
What Galaxia, however you want to say it.
I think it's just I've always said Galaxia.
I mean, pronunciation is is a relative. But yeah, you'll see that gorgeous hair.
I was trying to find that wig that I sent you that looked like her hair to me, and I cannot find it whatsoever.
What did you send it to?
I don't remember.
Was it in text?
I don't remember. Oh. To be quite honest with you. And then if it was in text, child, how much we have to go through to find it? We send links and pictures all damn day. So I just don't know anymore.
Very true.
Well, when I was saying binge watch, it made me think, because I was talking to a friend earlier, Kayla. So sometimes I'll save or she'll save different things that we say to each other. And there was a post that I had made a while ago. And I was like, listen, I can't help but bulge watch when dudes have on sweats or basketball shorts. It's like my favorite pastime. And she replied to me and she said, I was about to say you spelled binge wrong. And then I realized I was sorely mistaken.
She should have known who she was.
But we're going to go ahead and hop into the first story. I still am quite unsure of which one to start on. I'll go into something light first before we get to the rest of these because we're kind of crazy. So the first thing I want to talk about this isn't going to be too long of a story, but Kevin Feige announced that, which he said he didn't know if they announced it before, but they did not, because we would have known. Okay. But he said that Loki, the TV show Loki, is also going to be tied directly into Doctor Strange, the new Doctor Strange movie. Oh, that's so we already knew that WandaVision was going to be, because Wanda's going to be in that movie. Yeah. But now he's confirming that Loki will be as well. Now, he didn't say, of course, in what capacity, how much so, or if that Loki is going to be in Doctor Strange at all.
I'm still very much hoping that this Loki series, and we don't really know much of anything about it, but that it's in the past, because Loki better be dead.
Loki isn't dead though. Loki, that past self that we saw escaped with the Tesseract. Remember?
When I'm talking about he got choked out by Thanos, he needs to be dead.
Well, he's not. Because they went into the past. And then when they went in the past, they altered shit because, who was it? Was it Hulk? No, it was not Hulk. It was Ant-Man and Iron Man that were trying to get the Tesseract, but they got fucked up because Hulk came and slammed the door open and knocked Tony across the damn room.
Yeah, and he
and
did leave with their thing.
He got the Tesseract and dipped him out of that bitch. And so that, of course, changed.
So now he's part of like in the alternate timeline.
He's either in an alternate. I don't know how they're going to explain it, but in some capacity he is alive. So
I'm sick of Loki.
I am too, and I'm more sick of Loki because of how many times he's died and come back.
It's not that I don't like him. I love the actor. I love he's done a great job with Loki, but I'm just like I like when people die to stay dead.
Yes.
You know. I mean, you might can come back once, but stay dead after
Loki
that.
has come back. What, this is his
in
third or
every
fourth
fucking
time?
movie he has died. Feels like he has come back, and that gets old to me.
It does get old. That's when it starts to lessen the whole situation. Maybe the opening of timelines is something that we're going to correlate into Doctor Strange, because it's going to be a very mystical thing. But then we also have to think about Wanda Vision. They kept saying it's going to be something very different than you've ever seen with Marvel, because it's supposed to be like, it seems to me, in my mind, it seems like it's going to be part, like, let's say the Dick Van Dyke Show, like something like that, or like those kind of old, very like 50s, 60s kind of TV shows.
Which I love. I love the Dick Van Dyke Show. Also, I feel like you can make a comparison with the Stepford Wife.
Yeah, I think it's going to, I would say Stepford Wife much more. That's much more accurate to what I was thinking of. Because I feel like it's going to be that whole like Stepford Wife situation is going to be in her mind. And then we're going to get glimpses of that and then see like what's happening in reality. That's what I think is going to happen. Because I think it seems like they're playing off of, especially with the title of Doctor Strange, her madness that she has in the comics.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they're going to do that, but I'm very excited to see, because one conversation that kept being brought up a lot was, so something that irritates me is that people kept on saying, are these shows even going to really not if they're going to matter, but is it going to be palatable for the average audience? Like, so there's the true fans that watch all the movies and know all these different things and know how everything is connected. Then you have the casual fans who may have went and seen Endgame and maybe another two or three Marvel movies.
Then they're not going to watch it.
But even with that being said, my thing is these shows are going to be on Disney Plus. Disney Plus is not Marvel Plus. Disney Plus has, do you know how many properties Disney owns? So once you pay that $6, it's not like what I was saying to Aaron when we were watching the video about it the other day. They were like, so you're going to watch the Loki movie or the Scarlet Witch show, or Loki show or the Scarlet Witch show, and then those are tied directly into the Doctor Strange thing. They're like, how many casual fans are actually going to sit down and watch those to see how everything ties into, or how many times do they have to go back and watch all the movies to then find out or to realize what's happening in Wanda? And my thing is, most of those fans either don't care. Most of the casual fans are usually watching things just because they know that character and they enjoy watching it. They're not really concerned or worried about how everything is connected. And the Marvel movies don't even really, in my opinion, you can hop into any of them without knowing the paths, because they usually do something that'll catch you up, or you'll watch it and you'll be interested in like, oh, so how'd they get here?
Back.
Yeah, and with Disney Plus, it's going to be much easier because everything's on there. You paid your $6 already, so it's not like it's going to be a stretch to, okay, I'm watching Wanda, maybe something happens that you don't really get the context of, and so you want to go back. It's not like now that you paid and saw WandaVision, now you got to go buy all these other movies. You just, in your free time, watch it. Why would you pay $6 for a streaming service and not watch what's on the fucking streaming service?
Yeah, my thing is though, if that's the case, I don't think it matters. I feel like the target the target audience is not the casual fans. The target audience are the people who are following the storyline. And I mean, if you're not following it, that's you don't have to watch it. I mean, that's how I feel. But I feel like there are people who have been there from the beginning, and most of them, I feel most of the people who have watched the Marvel Universe have seen every single movie. Most, I would say, because otherwise they wouldn't be getting the numbers that they're getting. So I'm not worried about that at all. I feel like Kevin Feige is going to put a lot into these shows, in which I have a
tremendous amount of respect.
I do have a lot of respect for
faith.
that, and I personally have a hate relationship with superhero TV shows. Typically, they're kitschy and campy and crappy. But one I've been enjoying lately is Batwoman. I've been enjoying.
I want to watch it simply for Ruby Rose. That's the name, right?
Yes, gorgeous.
I want to see it every time when I first saw Ruby Rose, I immediately thought like she looks like when Angelina Jolie is Butch.
Yes.
That's all I ever see when I look at her. And I just think Angelina is the most gorgeous woman. And
Definitely. I love how she's evolved over the years.
Yeah.
If you go back and look at young Angelina and see the Angelina today, I mean, it's two completely different people.
Very. But I mean,
she's so
that's
classy
growth
now.
for you.
She's so classy now. I mean, she still got a little punk in her, but she's very classy.
Yeah, she knows how to conduct herself.
Yeah, and I just love to hear her speak.
But Ruby Rose, I don't think I've seen maybe 2 movies that she's been in. But I want to see it because I like Ruby Rose, but I don't want to see it because it's a DC TV show. And that's what gets me and throws me the fuck off.
Well, my thing is, I would say to you is, I feel like if I'm enjoying it, you will.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I watch far less superhero TV shows than you do because I absolutely do not care to watch them. And I actually am enjoying the storyline. The only thing I don't care for, and I think I've told you this already, is the narration. I don't care for narration all that much. I feel like typically it's unnecessary, but she does narrate a little bit, so that kind of gets on my nerves. But other than that, I am enjoying the storyline, and I feel like it's been written pretty well.
I think as far as like, since of course with you not liking the like superhero TV shows, I recommend at the very least that you watch 3 of the ones on Netflix if you decide to get into them. Jessica Jones, Daredevil, and The Punisher. The Marvel Netflix shows are all darker. Very much so darker. Their stories and tones are very much so different. There's no kitschiness about it. There's no trashy writing. I mean, the writing, like, as far as these shows, I personally feel need to be 8 episodes. They have 13. So take from that what you will. When you go if you decide to go into watching them. And the reason I say that I feel like it need to be 8 episodes is most of the story, like, it usually comes where a few of the episodes, like the first, I want to say usually 1 through 4, are like packed with a lot of information. Things are moving, and then it comes to a slow halt, or it kind of slows down. I mean, not that it's not entertaining. It's just the writing, I feel like they knew they got to a point where, okay, now we need to make filler. I'll say that. Now we need to make filler. And then right before the end, hops back into gear. That's what I felt from most of them, except for Daredevil. Daredevil, I feel, has consistently been good.
Yeah.
Not to say they're not without their lows.
I do have like inkling of what Daredevil has to showcase. I think I watched 2 or 3 episodes with you and Aaron. I don't know what season
They're
it was.
just very brutal
but
shows.
What was happening in the episodes I saw with you? I remember, what was it, what's his name? The guy, Big Pen, Kingpin, somebody.
Kingpin.
Yeah, Kingpin. he's in it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's his main villain.
I am, because I mix things up sometimes. So I remember him being in there, and he was like on the house arrest or something.
Yes.
And so those were the episodes that I saw, and I think somebody was impersonating Daredevil or something.
Yes.
Right? I am telling the truth. Okay, because I will make some shit up.
That's the second season.
So I remember watching that with you and
Or the
Aaron.
third.
And I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 episodes, because there was like some other detective dude, and he had some girlfriend with blonde hair.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am thinking. Okay, so I've seen a little bit of Daredevil.
When it comes to TV shows, like, if I'm going to recommend a show, and I don't watch all of them because I don't really like those kind of TV shows, but Daredevil Netflix Marvel shows, they have Daredevil, Jessica Jones, they have Punisher, Luke Cage, and what the hell's that man's name? His name is Danny. Iron Fist. Iron Fist and Luke Cage, nowhere near recommend. I don't like either of them.
Luke Cage didn't look interesting to me.
Luke Cage is not interesting to me at all. And as far as like the easiest to do, in my opinion, would be Luke Cage, because I mean, he's very strong and powerful, and he has this like situation where bullets can't pierce him and stuff like that. Like he has very tough skin or whatever his situation is. But he's very clunky when he fights. And I mean, I know that he's not a skilled fighter. He's just somebody that got some shit happening to him, and this is him now. But the fighting scenes are very lackluster. Like, whenever they happen, it's just a very awkward situation in the room. I'm just like, can I leave? It's like one of those cringy things. And then Iron Fist, If there was any that I don't like, if I had to recommend out of the two of them, Luke Cage or Iron Fist, I would say Luke Cage. And after hearing my review of Luke Cage, you know what I feel like about Iron Fist. If I would not recommend it at all. Iron Fist is, there's one saving grace in Iron Fist, and that's the Asian girl he's dating in there. I can't think of her fucking name right now, but she is the only good part of it. And I've only seen the first season. They have 2 seasons of Iron Fist, sadly. Oh, they also have the Defenders, which is like the culmination of all 4 of them getting together. Also don't recommend. But Daredevil has 3 seasons. Jessica Jones has 2. Her 3rd season is about to come up, I think. Or did they cancel? I think it's coming out. And then...
Because all of this getting debunked, right?
Yeah, all of it, pretty much all of it is gone except for Jessica Jones because they're releasing the 3rd season. But Iron Fist is gone. They have 2 seasons. Luke Cage is gone. They have 2 seasons. Didn't need it. Defenders is gone. They have 1 season. Daredevil had 3 seasons, but it was the one that came out the most consistently, and it was the first one to be released. So it's understandable that it has 3. Jessica Jones came out second, and I think Punisher came out last. Punisher has 2 seasons. Punisher is really good because it is just brutal ass whooping. And that's what attracted me to Daredevil because it was very much so this very realistic, like, there is no, he just winning every fight. He gets his ass handed to him a lot of the time.
Yeah, from what I saw, like, it was crazy.
It's very realistic. It's made deeply into realism, and it's very much so the darker side of Marvel, if there is that such a thing. Which is why I'm kind of sad they took it away. I'm happy they took it away, but sad because I'm happy they took it away because what the direction that they were going with the Luke Cage and Iron Fist, I was like, we don't need these. We don't need these 2 people. Yeah. But they are part of the Defenders, so I mean, I can't really say leave them out. But I'm sad because I thought the actor that plays Daredevil is really fucking good. He's like Kevin Feige type casting. Yeah. The girl that plays Jessica Jones is really fucking good. She plays that character to like her fucking anyway. Anytime I see her, the first time I think I've seen her is in the
Bring It On?
No. Oh yeah, she wasn't Bring It On. When I realized who she was, it was the Be in Apartment 23.
Love that too.
Yeah, I showed Aaron like maybe 2 or 3 episodes of that, but a fucking mess. And the dude that plays Frank Castle, which is Punisher, is another Kevin Feige type casting. I just feel like they're really fucking good. So I wish if you did anything, I would want them to bring those 3 characters over into the Marvel shows he's doing now.
Throw everybody else away.
Yeah, please. They don't need to. They didn't really fit the roles, in my opinion, to the point where it just like I was astounded by the casting.
Now, I would recommend, if we're talking about superhero TV shows, is The Boys.
I do want to see that.
You definitely, Kenny, you will love it. It is crazy because
after seeing that man's bulge, I was like, "Oh, this what we putting up? Are we putting up for me? I got this."
His character is a mess. He is definitely those type of people right? That's sexually harassing women. But God. But I like the idea of the corrupt superhero because they are all extremely corrupt, like completely, and like people are trying to get rid of them. That's a realistic
thing. I feel like if superheroes are real, some of them would end up being corrupt.
Because the way it is like they're being run by this agency. I think they're called Vanguard or something like that. And so it's this agency that runs the superheroes. There's like a elite 6 or 7 of them that they keep. And like they had just employed this new girl, and she was like, I can't remember her name. It's like Sparkle or something. I don't know. But she has light powers, and so
Sparkle with light powers. How revolutionary!
It's probably not Sparkle, but it's just what.
But it probably is. But people name their fucking characters nowadays.
I mean, they're not great with their names.
It just makes me think about Miranda Priestley when she was like Floral in Spring. Which is like groundbreaking. I wish people would like hear her in their head when they name their characters like such basic shit. Like my character has fire powers. Let's name her Solar.
Bitch. I don't know why they feel
the name a heat stroke.
So it's basically the ended like the agency, they have like publicity for their superheroes. They pretty much don't want them being superheroes unless they're on camera and in their suits and whatever. And
it's kind of like where they were going in the movies with the Soviet Accords. They don't want them being superheroes until we tell you to be superheroes.
Yeah, that's definitely, they didn't want them like superheroing behind the scenes. They need to be shown where we can control it, like they have their own camera crews.
My thing is with
and all that type of stuff.
Okay, so you telling me, as a superhero, I'm walking down the street and I see these people fucking this woman up. Sorry, the camera's in here, girl. I can't do shit for you.
So that's basically, like, literally, that's one of the scenes that happened.
Oh my God.
Where somebody was, like, about to get raped in the streets, and this person, the new girl, because she's new, and she's like, she actually wants to be a superhero, not just be corrupt. All the rest of them are corrupt. And
so, we had knee deep in it.
Yeah. So she saw that happening, and then, like, she had got in trouble. Like, they was like, because, I mean, they had the security cameras, and they caught it, and it was like, bitch, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh my God.
I mean, they didn't say all that, but, basically they were like, you need to be in your costume. We need to be with you. We set up all your, because they set up their missions. And so if they didn't set it up, they don't want you to do it. So she's supposed to just walk by if that bitch got raped.
So is the Vanguard setting up the missions, or the
Vanguard people,
the superheroes setting up the missions?
No, the Vanguard people. They send you out on your missions. And so you're not supposed to go out and just do things, just because you see crime happening. You're supposed to just walk by, and if they didn't...
as fuck.
So, but it's really good. I think you'll really love it. And also, I just want to quickly talk about this because I just finished the 4th season of She-Ra, and one thing I want to talk about is the representation that is in it, because of the new character, Double Trouble, which I think Double Trouble was a character that was in the original She-Ra, but she wasn't in the TV show. She was, because the TV show comes from the toys. The toys were first, and then the TV show.
We saw that in whenever that show is. Aaron was watching on Netflix.
Yeah, the toys that made us, which I do love, recommend it. But she was a toy, and it was actually a woman. But the new version, which to me I love the design, is a non-binary person, and but the voice is a man.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that person's probably non-binary too. I don't really know the man, but he's probably non-binary also. But they. And so they do use
their gender.
Yeah, so they're using the they them terms when they speak about Double Trouble, and there's a whole lot of course, like just gay relationships and things like that, and just being who you are, basically. And I do love that about the show. I think the lady that is the creator is a lesbian, I believe. If I'm not lying, I could be. But I basically just want to say that I'm loving in cartoons that we are getting representation now. And I with Netflix, and I'm hoping that they get Rebecca Sugar at some point and get her to make some really gay cartoon. I really love it.
Yeah, because I feel like it's happening a lot more because we now have such access to, and I feel like Netflix, and they're not the only ones, but they're doing a lot for it because they're not turning down shows that are these what do you want to call them, children's shows or cartoons? I just say that. Yeah. These cartoons
I
that
have...
say that
she was children.
Yeah.
But
that's why I said cartoon.
But Hulu has that children's, and it really is a children's cartoon that is gay.
See, things like that I feel like are really good because these streaming platforms allow for those things to happen. They allow for people to take risks and put out their representation of other people so that you can see, okay, there are people like you and me on TV or on these shows, and then people that are younger can see that and not feel so fucking bad about themselves and feel like they have to change. Because as far as like cable TV, they're so worried about all these fucking different situations and groups that they don't ever want to do shit unless they're using a gay character for comic relief. And so for that, I'm very happy that we are transitioning away from basic cable kind of networks and stuff like that. Yeah. Because it's just, at this point, it's unnecessary, and if you're not going to speed up with the times, you're going to get left behind. That's just point blank period.
Yeah, leave that behind.
Yeah, and don't nobody really care about TV like that anyway. Like, honestly, as millennials have come into the scene, and then the people after us, as millennials come up, and the people after us, we have gotten into very much so, we don't have the luxury of being at home and watching TV a lot of the time. So
I think that
when we need to see something or we want to watch something, we find it on the internet.
Yeah, and I think that it suits the common man's schedule.
Yeah.
Typically when your favorite show is coming on, you're not home. So I think that the luxury of being able to watch your favorite shows at your leisure is more suitable for the average person.
Yes, very much
and I love to, and me, I like to binge. I like to and binge in my own time frame. I can watch 1 or 2 episodes today, watch 3 tomorrow.
Yeah, it's very, to me, I like it because if I decide to sit my ass here and watch this whole series tonight, I can do that. If I decide, okay, I'm going to watch 2 episodes, then I'm going to come back to it later, I can do that. I don't really, it's annoying to me. I mean, of course, there are shows that I will do it for, but I just sometimes don't like watching week to week because that becomes annoying.
I'm waiting. And
then at some point, if I'm waiting too much, I'm gonna forget about it and stop watching it. Yeah, that's who I am. Like if a show takes too long to come back, I don't even care anymore. Like and I feel like a lot of shows fuck up like that. Like I feel like Rebecca Sugar is gonna have that issue if she keeps fucking around with Cartoon Network. I don't know if it's Cartoon Network or her that is deciding to put Steven Universe out in such small spurts, but.
Well, Steven Universe is about to be over.
Luckily.
I definitely hope I hope her next cartoon is on streaming, to be very honest. I don't know if she has any plans or what she's going to do. Of course, she hasn't said anything about it. But if whatever plans she does, please go to Netflix, please. And because, say for instance, She-Ra debuted last year. I don't remember exactly when, but I feel like it was around the fall. And now we're in the fall, going into winter. They have 4 seasons already.
And by this time, we would have still been on
36 episodes.
We would have still been on 1 season.
Yeah, I mean, they are pounding out these episodes. I am just spellbound by how quickly these episodes are coming out. They already have, I think 36, 38 episodes. And I'm like, already in a year.
Yeah.
And these are not 15-minute episodes. These are...
Like Steven Universe.
Yeah, these are full episodes. And so...
Is there a lot of filler in it?
No, they are definitely straight to the point. Okay. I mean,
that's what kills me a lot about shows like that are how much filler they love to put into it. And I'm like, filler works for certain situations, but for me, I feel like the filler would be better if the filler had a point. Usually filler is just there to be filler, just to fill in the gaps.
Especially with
But can we make it a point to be about something that at least has some way to tie into the next part of the story?
Yeah, now... The first season...
Or an adjacent storyline that you can, every time you need filler, let's go back to the storyline.
Yeah.
Let's do that. I don't understand why we have to do I cannot stand the shit, and I know Steven Universe fans will love to say, and nothing's filler. Everything means something.
No, it's filler.
Like what is the watermelon people?
Yeah.
Bitch, why do we do this?
I don't care.
This had nothing to do.
And for them to get a whole episode, I mean, quick glance, okay, they all right. And then go back to the main
They all right. They fine.
I don't need a whole episode of the Watermelon People. I
was sitting there watching that episode, and I was like, did I really just sit through
I almost cut it
this whole episode?
But I was hoping something else was going to happen in this episode, and it did not.
It truly didn't.
And so I will say the first season, it's because you're getting to know the characters, and they have those moments of just getting to know them. Mm-hmm. But once you get past the first season, everything is plot driven. I mean, the first season is still plot driven, but they have something called one episode is Princess Prom. Mm-hmm. And they go to prom. I mean, there are things important that happen at the prom, and things like that. But once you get past that first season, you're getting more in depth into the plot, because anybody who's seen the original She-Ra, which I did. When I say the plot is so much more in depth as far as, is really what it's about is okay, of course, she was a part of the Horde, and she is on the other side where the Horde, of course, we all know the Horde is evil. Mm-hmm. But she is taught to believe that the Horde is good and the princesses are evil. So she's brought up believing that, okay, all of these are true. And then she ends up going out on her first mission and then meeting Glimmer and Bo and then finding out that everything that she's been taught all her life has been a lie. Mm-hmm. And then, she finds out that she becomes She-Ra, that she starts defending the princesses against the Horde, and then all the princesses have these rune stones or crystals or whatever you want to call them, and they fuel their powers from them, and then this is connected to the entire planet is complete technology, and I mean it's a lot when you get deeper and deeper into the plot, and then you find out that some things are corrupt that you thought weren't, and this right here, and then we thought that the whole thing was we're trying to make the world better, but actually we're trying to destroy it. All types of stuff going on, and so the deeper you get into it, the more interesting the plot becomes. And I say my favorite character is Double Trouble, the non-binary one. Not the non-binary one. They is a shapeshifter, and so there's like one scene.
I like that about it being a non-binary character and they can shapeshift.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Today I decide I want to be a woman. I want to be a man. Today I don't want to be none of them.
So it was funny because he was like, because one of the things, Katra was like, oh, so you can change into people. He's like, change into people. He was like, no, I'd call it transform because it's one thing to look like somebody else, but you've got to embody their emotions and all of that. And so they consider themselves an actor, and because really, child be getting into character, and so, but like
Roger Smith.
Yeah. they are very much like a person who like sways either way. So one moment they'll be on the bad side, the next moment they'll be on the good side. Whoever is, but also this person loves to invoke chaos. So they come up and say something real dirty to you to make you want to strike on somebody else, and then they'll find out a secret and then they'll go tell it to make you want to go and beat this other person up.
Okay. So a lot.
So I love Double Trouble.
There's a show, because we brought up the non-binary character. There's a show, this kind of character is not non-binary from what I understand. He's just an effeminate guy. It's a new show, and it's called Hotel something, and I cannot.
Hotel?
Oh my God. It's about Has Been Hotel. That's the name I found it. Has Been Hotel. It's essentially, from what I saw on the plot, it's this new like little series. It's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be in a channel or anything like that, but I saw it on YouTube where the pilot episode is posted. And it's about this girl. I don't know if she's like the daughter of one of the main demons in hell or something like that, but she opens up this hotel for like, I don't know, wayward demons or something like that.
Wayward demons.
And she has these two people that come in. They're like her friends and like helping her. One of them is this gay guy, and he just says this is, again, not a children's show whatsoever.
Yeah.
He says, like, every time he gets a chance to make a dick or a sex pun, he is gonna do it. Like,
all right.
I think his name is like, his name is something about a drug. It's like Crystal Meth or something like that. But I want to watch it. I haven't gotten a chance to yet, but I do want to watch it because the clips that I keep seeing are quite hilarious to me. And there's this one demon that comes in to help out. When he speaks, which is very interesting to me, when he speaks, he sounds like he's on the radio. And what I mean by that is, like that old-timey, old-school like radio sound? That's what he sounds like talking. Just in front of you, he sounds like you're hearing his voice through a radio.
That is weird.
It really is. And anyway, what is your next story before I hop into anything?
Oh, okay. Quickly, mine's pretty quick. It's about Keanu Reeves. He was at some red carpet event or whatever.
Oh, I know about this.
Yeah, and he finally, for the first time ever in his entire career, apparently brought his girlfriend. I don't know if he's never had a girlfriend before, but
he was never.
He's never
shown off his love life.
Shown it off. And so people saw her and immediately thought she was Helen Mirren.
Which, when I looked at it,
Helen Mirren is married.
Helen Mirren is married, and she's like, 70 years old?
Yeah.
The girl is like 40.
Yeah.
I would have been like,
they only looked at her gray hair and was like, oh, she's old. And then people were like, oh, here's Keanu Reeves with an older woman, but Keanu Reeves is like 55, and he's like in his 50s.
She's 10 years younger than him.
They're like age appropriate. I'm like, I don't know how young y'all think Keanu Reeves is. And then Helen Mirren, I think, is like 74. And I looked at that woman. She looks nothing like Helen Mirren.
She doesn't.
But they just looked at her gray hair and was like, that is Helen Mirren. But not also, Helen Mirren is married. Because as soon as I saw that, I was like, ain't Helen Mirren married? And then somebody had brought it up to Helen Mirren. And she was like, yeah, me and my husband.
Make sure y'all understand this.
Hilarious. And she was like, because she said she knew Keanu Reeves, and she was like talking about how nice he is and whatever. But he was like, she was like, I'm very happy for him that he's found love and
The thing with that, for me, is what I kept thinking about it was how much people were talking about he's such a brave and courageous man to come out with an older woman on the red carpet. And I'm just like, First of all, how much of a slap in the motherfucking face is that to her? That he's brave and courageous for bringing her out because she's an older woman, but she's fucking younger than him.
How old is she? Yeah, she's 46.
Yeah. And so for me, it's like, so not that I understand, but I know why they're saying that, because usually when you see these dudes come on the red carpet with like a significant other, if they're not already married and have been in an established relationship, usually they're coming on with somebody that's several years younger than them. Like they'll be like 50, their partner is like 30 or 20. So I know where they're coming from that for that, but to say that he's fucking courageous because he came out with a woman that was just 10 years younger than him instead of 20, that's not courageous to me. Like, y'all are saying that you have to be, like, to me, when I hear it, it says to me, oh, that man is so brave. He came out with this older bitch. Like, this old biddy.
There's nothing brave about it. I think
he just decided to show this woman, like, to go out with her. Maybe they're at that part in their relationship where he hasn't felt that way about anybody else. I don't want to talk for him, but maybe he hasn't felt that way for anybody else. And he's just like, oh, well, this one I feel differently about. I'm going to show her off.
Yeah.
I don't know how long they've been together. I didn't look that deep into it.
I don't know how long they've been together.
For him this is the only person who's brought out. She has to be throwing that pussy back some kind of way.
They've had to been together for a good while, I assume. More than likely, I feel like it. And for him to bring her, I mean, they could be married for all we know, you know. So I don't know. I don't know that. I don't get deep into people's lives, but I just found it interesting that people were like, "Oh, he's with this old woman, like he was 20."
Right?
Like he is 55. This man is not young.
Oh, people irritate me. So like I said, the other stories that I have are kind of deep, I guess. The very first one I'm gonna go into is Popeyes came out with their chicken sandwich again.
I already know it. Yeah.
Came out with their chicken sandwich again. What was it, Monday or Tuesday?
I don't know. Yeah.
And somebody has died over this chicken sandwich.
Yes.
And when I saw the story, I was like, are they fucking serious? I thought people were just talking shit on Twitter. So I went and looked it up. There are like people all over, they were all around that Popeyes with their camera crews on the news talking about the man that got stabbed. Apparently they were having an altercation in the line, and at some point, I guess, one of them was like, bitch, come outside, or catch me outside, how about that? They went outside and he got stabbed several times and died. They got him in the, the ambulance, and they got to the hospital, and I believe he died shortly after getting to the hospital. I don't know if it was on the ambulance or after, but I think it was like shortly after he got to the hospital, he ended up dying. They still have not caught the man that killed him from my last searching of this. They still haven't caught the man that did this. But I'm just like, where are we as a community? This is going to be specifically about black people, because y'all are truly shucking and jiving for Popeyes and this chicken sandwich. And I say that specifically because there's also these videos, or at least there's one video that I saw of the dude standing on top of the Popeyes counter singing. Yeah. And I'm just like, y'all act like y'all ain't never motherfucking had a chicken sandwich before. And I have not had that Popeye chicken sandwich, but from all the altercations that I see going on at these Popeyes across the country, I don't even want to try it, because I'm not trying to go to the drive-thru or walk into the store and have to fear for my motherfucking life or safety because you decided that this chicken sandwich is just so grand supreme that you want to risk your freedom and my life for it. Like, to me, this is becoming an epidemic where I feel like Popeyes needs to take this off the motherfucking menu, because black people don't know how to motherfucking act. Like,
I don't understand. I honestly don't. Anytime things like this happen, because this also happened a long time ago. What was it, KFC in their what was it? Something about some sale they had with their chicken.
Yeah.
I truly.
That always gets you, because I'm thinking that woman. How am I supposed to feed my kids?
Bitch, go home and cook. You lazy
what
ass.
The fuck you mean you want a chicken? How am I supposed to feed my kids? It's like, girl, is this the only food supply you know of?
No, girl, it doesn't matter. Bitch,
you
go
probably
home
don't need to
and
be
cook.
feeding them this fucking food anyway.
I'm like, how am I supposed to feed my kids? Girl, you lazy as fuck. But, my thing is, it's sad. It's sad to know. It's sad to hear. And I also have not had this chicken sandwich. I honestly don't really care for Popeyes, just to be very honest. I don't like breaded chicken all that much. But you know, people were talking about it at work, and then somebody was like, yeah, you can't even really get, like, here, you can barely get to a Popeyes, apparently, like, the lines be so damn long or whatever, and I'm just like, what is it? Like, we've had chicken sandwiches, bitch, go home and make a chicken sandwich.
Not only go home and make a chicken sandwich, McDonald's has one, Burger King, I don't care for Burger King, but I'm just saying places that have it. Burger King has one, Chick-fil-A has them, I don't support them, but Chick-fil-A has them. Yeah. So many restaurants have chicken sandwiches. Popeyes came out with one. Granted, it may be good. I don't know. But I highly, utterly doubt that they are doing that it tastes that much different than everybody else's, because at the end of the day, this is a regular fast food chain. This isn't one that, now for me, when we're talking about like places that I would trust to go more above and beyond, and I would not understand, but I would see more of like the commotion about it, would be if like Culver's came out with one. Culver's, like their ingredients, should I say, and stuff like that, seem to be a bit more.
It's more like
higher quality
style.
Yeah. Like a Culver's or maybe a Carl's Jr. Places like that I feel like they do a bit more for their food than like a McDonald's and Popeyes.
A diner, you know, to me, if you
or
want
a diner
good burgers or something, diners.
Now, if there was a diner and y'all were coming out like this diner's shit is just so motherfucking good. I'm like, okay, maybe they need to go over here.
Yeah, maybe.
But I just don't see Popeyes.
Fast food, no, because a lot of shit is pre-made. That shit is sitting up cold. And so I don't want to hear none of that bullshit. But the thing is, y'all need to calm the fuck down over this motherfucking chicken. It really furthers the stereotype that black people do anything for chicken.
Yes.
Because...
And when people say that, now if a white person said, oh, black people really do anything for chicken, how can we blame them the way y'all fucking acting over this?
Y'all killing bitches for chicken.
Yeah, you literally are killing bitches, y'all fighting bitches, y'all got the workers stressed the fuck out. Like,
yeah.
I don't understand. Like, y'all been fighting the workers, y'all be fighting each other in line, y'all be fighting your families if they don't want to take you to go get it. Like, I just don't understand how this chicken sandwich is doing this much for you. And my cousin had posted a picture on Snapchat the other day in line for Popeyes, and she was like, I can't wait to see what all the hype is about. And so I asked him, like, well, was it actually good? She was like, it was all right. It was like, it wasn't groundbreaking. I feel like that's another thing that I feel like with all this hype behind it, there are two types of people. There are the people that are going to, so there's two types of people out of the ones that have seen the hype and haven't had it yet. They're going to be the people like, I feel like how we probably going to end up being if we ever get the chance to taste it. We're not going to be that enthused about it because y'all hype this shit up and it tastes like a normal fucking chicken sandwich. And then they're going to be the people that start all the hype about it, and they're going to be those, in my opinion, they're going to be those people that get hyped up and surrounded by all the commotion of it. They're like, oh, this is actually good when it really isn't, and you're just putting a thought in your mind. Like, it's a placebo effect.
I also think
everybody else is saying it's good, so you feel like
I'm gonna say it too.
It has to be.
But I also think people are feeding a lot off the drama. I think people love the drama. I think people love creating drama. I think people love being a part of drama.
Definitely.
So I think that's a big factor. Is that all of these people are just like, you know what? I'm gonna get a taste of this. I don't really care about the sandwich, but I just want to be one of the bitches that's fighting up at Popeyes.
Yeah.
And y'all, it's senseless.
I truly don't understand. I just would love to have been a fly on the wall. I don't want to be a human in the place because it's very dangerous.
I don't want to be a human.
Let me be a fly on the wall in that place when they got into this fight, because I would just love to know. I saw somebody on Twitter. They were like, maybe the fight wasn't over a chicken sandwich. I was just assuming that. They were in line for said chicken sandwich and got into a fight about it. But it may not have been specifically, but it derived from the chicken sandwich.
It doesn't matter what it is about. Even if it wasn't about the sandwich. It's just like two, for lack of better terms, nigga coons up in Popeyes, looking a fool, and just for the white people to look at us and be like, you know what, these are savages.
Yeah.
And further to the contest of making America great again, let's go ahead and put these bitches back in their second-class citizen position because
they don't know how to act. They put out a chicken sandwich and they flip the fuck out. It's just, y'all may think this is entertaining. I truly and utterly do not. And I'm not going to sit there and act like I don't like watching drama and stuff like that on TV. I may get a good kiki about it, but this has surpassed that. This is went into some other kind of territory. And it's been surpassed that.
Yeah. Since
the first time it came out. When they came out and people were bum rushing the fucking Popeyes and they ran out that first time.
Yeah.
And y'all acting a fucking fool like, how you ain't got this? You know, chicken sandwiches are finite, right? People don't just have chicken sandwiches that are unlimited supply in the back. That's not a feasible business practice. If I go to a restaurant and they don't have something, may I be perturbed? Yes. But I'm not going to be like, bitch, come your ass outside. Let me show you what you're going to run out of. I don't get...
You're going to run out of life.
I don't get how we get to the point of this person that doesn't even own the Popeyes.
Yeah.
And I'm using Popeyes specifically because this is where all the drama has come around as of late.
Yeah.
But this could be anywhere. We've seen it in the past be from like a McDonald's or Burger King or
Everybody
whatever.
runs out of something. You go to any restaurant, whether it's Applebee's, wherever, they are going to run out of stuff. And they're going to be like, well, we don't have any more of the salmon, but you can have such and such and such and such. You know?
So my thing is, I don't understand how we get from, let's just bring it to McDonald's. I go to McDonald's, I'm like, oh, can I get a filet of fish? And they're like, oh, we out of those. What part of your brain says, I got to fight this bitch? Again, somebody that don't own McDonald's, don't even own this franchise or this store itself. Not even a manager probably.
Yeah.
Managers ain't too much sitting up in the window taking your order. No. You decided to take it out on this regular person that's just doing their job and telling you, sir, the item that you wanted is not available right now.
Yeah.
You have two options. Order something else, or say, you know what, I'll go to another McDonald's. Or take your ass home and make a fish sandwich, bitch. I don't understand.
It wasn't that bad.
If it was going to be a make or break situation for you this day, people are annoying. I just want to bring that up because, like I said, I was looking at the story, and when I saw, we've talked about it before, though.
Yeah.
People acting a fool over this chicken sandwich. But once I saw that somebody had gotten murdered over this chicken sandwich, I was like, this is...
It's insane.
Unnecessary. And this was like, what, the day of or the day after it came, they re-released it? I'm like, oh my God.
It's just crazy. I just got a little, mundane topic. I don't know. I'll call it mundane. Just to talk about because it's just an interesting topic to me. Something I've been seeing a lot lately on social media, Twitter, or wherever is, people posting photos of muscle dudes in lingerie. And not that not that I have anything against it. I don't care what you wear. But the thing that perturbs me is that the other reason it's okay is because it's these mass muscle dudes. Anytime somebody will post a picture of a femme guy in
wearing lingerie,
not
even lingerie,
just anything is a issue. So
it's because
it's not anything new that men have been wearing lingerie, but if like a femme guy is wearing lingerie, panties, whatever, what's the little things that strap down your leg or whatever, what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I've seen plenty of femme dudes and people repost that reblog. This is disgusting. This is sick.
This is why everybody thinks that we all sissy femmes and blah, blah, blah.
And then as soon as like a muscle dude put one on, oh, this is so sexy. I would love to come home to this.
Yeah, like, no, you wouldn't.
Okay.
It's only because they are masculine presented people. Guys, if these were, like you said, if they were femme people, this would be an issue. Because I've seen this one, I think it was probably the same one, because I remember that comment where it's like, I would love to come home to this.
Yeah.
And they're wearing that, kind of mesh, or not mesh, but the see-through black... I don't know what the fucking things are called.
Where those little strap things that go down.
There's pantyhose that come up to maybe mid-thigh, and then there's a strap that connects it to the underwear. And then there's usually one that goes, a part of it that goes around your waist.
That goes around the waist, yeah.
So I've seen that, and I'm like, now if we take that same picture of this masculine kind of beefed up dude, and then put it side by side next to somebody that's femme wearing it, there will be two totally different opinions of these two people.
Yeah.
And for y'all to sit here and act like you think it's okay for you to come home, for you to come home to a man wearing this. Maybe you would be okay with it if it was a masculine man, but you would not feel that way if your man was not super masculine, or if they were femme, or maybe not even really much of either.
Yeah.
You just, it's only because this is a beefed up masculine man that you are just like, oh, this is revolutionary. This is amazing. Yeah. They're the first ones to do it.
Yeah. And that's really what perturbs me. And it doesn't bother me that they're wearing it. I don't care. But it just perturbs me of
the commentary.
The commentary and the double standard.
Yeah. Because I'm happy that there are these more masculine men or beefed up men that are feeling more comfortable to do things that, we've been doing since forever.
Femme dudes have been doing forever, but we get stones thrown at us.
But I am happy for those individuals because, okay, you are feeling more comfortable in yourself. And I'm always a proponent of somebody to feel, once they start feeling comfortable about themselves, they start doing more things that are out of the box for them, necessarily. I'm happy for that. But what I don't like you said, is the commentary behind it of this is somehow better because he is a masculine person.
Yeah.
It's just, that I feel like it needs to sit the fuck down. Either like both men doing it or don't. Now, and femme men don't need to be your thing. You don't have to, I'm not saying that you need to be forcibly attracted to a femme guy. My thing is for you to sit here and pick and choose who this looks good on. Who this looks good
on, yeah. That's what bothers me about it. And also, like, you know, everybody has a preference. Mm-hmm. I have a preference. You have a preference. Everybody has one. I don't have anything against preferences. And I do feel like there is a commentary against preferences and say that people shouldn't have one.
Yeah. I think that's mainly because some people's preferences borderline on racism.
Oh, racism. But I feel like people take it a little bit too far and like you shouldn't have preference. Like if you're not attracted to fat dudes, why on earth are you not attracted to fat dudes?
I'm just not, bitch.
I'm just not. You know,
I never said that fat dudes need to die. I didn't say that they don't need love.
Like, I'm going to say my opinion on body size. I have nothing against larger size dudes. There are some very attractive larger size dudes. But I am 5'5". I am 130-some pounds. I am a tiny person. And I just don't want nobody who can roll over on me and cause bodily harm. You know, and that's muscle or fat. I don't care. I don't like dudes that are so much, and some people love dudes that are bigger than them. I don't like to be picked up. I don't like to be thrown around. And when you date dudes,
be thrown around.
No, when you date dudes bigger than you, they do want to do that. They want to pick you up and throw you across the room. I don't have time for that.
Pick me up and throw me across the room.
Don't throw me nowhere. I don't care for that. So, you know, and everybody's got their own preference. I don't like that. So I am more attracted to short dudes. And the thing is that short dudes are typically more attracted to taller dudes. Mm-hmm. And not to say that I won't date a taller dude, because I will. Because there's a lot of different other factors. The person that you are going to be with isn't going to have everything that you like.
Yeah, like you can have a preference, but the thing is, once you go out there and start dating, unless you're just somebody that's so stuck up and stuck on your preference, which you're not gonna find nobody too quickly. And if you do find that person, that personality gonna be fucked up. Yeah. But usually, when you go out there and you start dating, you're gonna find somebody that you like, and they may not check off all the list of your preferences, but that doesn't change that there's somebody.
A preference should not be a deal breaker.
Yeah.
I mean, there are deal breakers.
Because at that point, it's not a preference, it's a requirement.
Yeah, that's a requirement. You know, I have preferences, but most of the people, like anybody I've ever dated, have not checked out all my preferences, and that's fine. I mean, there's a whole lot of other factors that come into play. You can't just be like, oh, well, they must have these 3 things. And if they don't have these 3 things, then bitch, bye. You know, then you're going to be a lonely person because you ain't going to find nobody. And then if you do find somebody, it won't last. So, you're going to be in a very unhappy relationship.
The person I dated that came the closest to my preferences was Tyson. See how that went. I was with him for a few years, but he had anger issues. He was a fucking alcoholic. And I'm not saying like I did not like my time with him, but it was just like for me, like when we're talking about preferences, I found somebody that had a lot of my preferences, more of them than I've ever had. And they turned out their personality was okay until they were upset. And then when they were drunk, which when they got drunk was because they were upset, and it just became this cycle. And so, like, just because they have your preferences does not make them a perfect man. That's all I want to say on that. A preference does not make that person perfect. Yeah. Even perfect for you. Because he wasn't perfect for me. That's why we're not together.
I don't think that there's a definition of perfect for you. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like even if you find a person you spend the rest of your life for, they still might not be perfect. Things may change.
Even if you think they're perfect when you meet them, what you see as perfect may change as you get older. Because usually you design this perfect idea of somebody in your mind when you're younger. Yeah. Like, let's say early teen or late teens, early 20s, and then once you get out of your 20s, or even probably to mid 20s, you like, all right, well, I thought.
But even if you with the person that you know you love them, and you know who you're gonna be with the rest of your life, and you end up being with them the rest of your life. But you also find out that person probably irritates you just as much as you love them.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that's just life, you know. And it doesn't mean that you don't love them, doesn't mean that you don't cheat on them, doesn't mean that you don't leave them. But it just means that there are things about them that irritate the fuck out of you. And that's just because people are different. And whatever. I don't think there's anybody that's with anybody where they love absolutely everything about them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just unheard of.
Yeah, and I feel like most of the people that say they love everything about the person they're with, I'm just like, you're either very naive or you're lying.
Well,
I mean, and maybe there are some that do like utterly love every single thing about the person, but I don't.
That's an unhealthy.
It's a very unhealthy situation because now you can't be unbiased when they make a horrible decision. It's just like, oh girl, we're gonna get through it.
It's all right.
No, bitch, why you do that? This is stupid.
But I think that's a person who's living in deep denial.
Yeah, truly. Another person living in deep denial, Ti.
I knew we were getting here.
Yeah, I wanted to save this one for last. It's gonna be the longest conversation, I'm sure, probably. Because I didn't expect the Marvel thing to go that long, but we went into very other topics.
Yeah.
But so of course we both already know about the situation. Break it down.
Okay.
About T.I. going on this podcast. What was the name of it? I think it's Ladies Like Us. Yeah, he went on this podcast.
It's that lady from Breakfast Club, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
The Breakfast Club is...
No, she's the lady from Breakfast Club. She's on Breakfast Club. She has her own podcast.
I'm thinking of something else.
Her name is Angie something.
Angela Lee?
Yeah. Because, isn't it? It's something to Angie.
Angela Lee isn't on this podcast. This is two girls.
No, I swear I read it's the lady from the Breakfast Club, that Hispanic woman.
I listened to it.
I know. I read it.
I mean, you may have heard it from the Breakfast Club.
No,
but
I didn't hear it from the Breakfast Club. She talks on the Breakfast Club, but she has her own podcast that's separate from the Breakfast Club. I swear I read that.
No. Unless it's a different woman.
Unless it's a different woman.
These are two, from what I remember seeing, they're like darker skinned women than what Angela Yee is.
Never mind that.
Is Angela Yee or Angela Lee?
I don't know her name. I don't really watch the Breakfast Club. I know she's like some Hispanic woman, I think, isn't she?
Yes, Angela is.
But
I can't think of the two women's name. Oh, wait. Do I see their names here?
Maybe I'm thinking of
There's
something else.
Nadia and the other girl. I can't say his name. Nazananin.
No, I'm thinking of something else then. I'm getting these. You know, I said this at the beginning of the podcast. I will mix things up. I'm thinking of a different interview with somebody else that was holding. Was it? I think it was Tank. Was it Tank?
Yeah, Tank. That's a situation when he was on her podcast with some other people, Angela's, and he brought up that.
Okay, see, like I said, I'm mixing two stories up. Never mind, go ahead.
But the two women have a podcast called Ladies Like Us. T.I. came on there and they're asking him some questions about his daughter now that she's 18 and stuff like that. And he decided to volunteer this information that I, in my own personal opinion, feel like even if this is something he does, well, we know it is. With this being something he does, he did not need to make that public information for several reasons. I get to it at the end of this. But so he brought up how he takes his daughter to the gynecologist about once a year, usually around her birthday or on the birthday, to get a check done to make sure her hymen is still intact. And people have been livid about this ever since it came out. And
rightfully so.
Yeah, because this is unnecessary, especially now that she's fucking 18 and an adult. The doctor shouldn't even have been able to give that to her or give that to him. People have been saying like she was coerced essentially into or made to feel uncomfortable that she needed to do it because her dad was right there. Because the way he explains it, T.I., he says that he's sitting there and the doctor's very professional. The doctor has said some shit about how, I can't really give you this information without her permission. This is confidential, whatever. And he was like, he talked to his daughter and he was like, the doctor needs you to go ahead and sign these papers so I can find out the information. And he was like, is there anything that you want to have from me? And of course, she's like, no. And so she had to sign the papers and he was able to tell her. And he was like, the way he referenced it, he was like, go ahead and sign these papers so I can get my test results. Which they're not his results, they're hers. Yeah. But and of course found out that her hymen is still intact. But the doctor even told him this, and a lot of people have been saying a hymen is not a 100% way to know somebody had sex or not, because a hymen can break or whatever in several different ways. If you're an athlete, if you ride bikes, horses, if you do something, they were like, if you use tampons, you can break your hymen. Like, anything can break the hymen. There's various reasons, and they're like, this is not an ideal test to see that, and even if it was an ideal test, you don't need to be doing that.
It still doesn't matter, in my opinion, because, okay, say that he's checking to see if her hymen is still intact. Really, if it was not intact,
what were you gonna do? Beat her in there?
Well,
I just want to know if you had checked and her hymen wasn't intact, were you gonna snatch about her hair and snatch her out of the room? Like, what was the point of this?
Yeah, but if her hymen's been intact this entire time, say that, okay, but and say she don't ride bikes, she don't ride horses, she's not an athlete. And also, she's not having vaginal sex, which means that she could be having anal sex. She could be sucking dick.
Ear sex.
Yeah, she could be doing a lot of other things.
When I think of ear sex, I just thought about that because of Family Guy.
Yeah, Family Guy. But she could be doing a lot of other things, and to be that naive as a man, I'm sure he's done it all.
Yeah.
And so to be that naive to think that she's not having sex just because she still has a hymen is stupid.
That's what one of the tweets had said. Somebody was like, T.I. gonna be real mad when he find out that she been having anal sex.
Right, you better check her booty hole. I also think it's absolutely terrible to police her sex life.
Yes.
I think that you as a parent, you should educate her on sex, educate her on protected sex, educate her on STDs and things of that nature. And educate her on waiting until she's ready.
Yeah.
Now you have no business policing how and when she has sex. You, I'm sure, probably having sex when you were 12.
Right.
How dare you police your child's sex life? I feel like it's fucking awful, and it could corrupt her views on what sex is.
It could corrupt her views on what sex is, and it can also be a situation where, which I was talking about, is people like that are so sheltered and caged in when they're kids. Once they go off to college, usually, I'm not going to say everybody, usually they're experiencing this kind of freedom all at one time.
Yeah.
And for the first time.
Yeah.
Those people usually go buck wild and just start fucking any and everything.
Yeah.
And you were worried about this intact hymen, and now that shit is long gone.
Right.
It's been towed through. Because you wouldn't let her just experiment and have, just get to know her own body and make those decisions for herself. You decided to take it upon yourself to make sure that her hymen is intact and that she stays a virgin. And not only that, you went on to a national podcast and being the name that you are and discuss your fucking daughter's body. Like, okay, this conversation everybody's having about you, or you thought it was just going to be about you, but now your daughter's bought into this. She didn't want everybody knowing that.
That
was a very unnecessary conversation
That's a
to
very
have.
private thing, but also
instead of him talking about some she a virgin and she boring, don't nobody want her. Like,
I feel like, in my opinion, he went on there thinking that this is such a great parenting tool. I want everybody else to know about it.
Those women made him feel that way because they're up there laughing and chuckling and giggling at him saying this instead of checking his ass.
No, because I would have bust him out. I'm like, it is. I mean,
that's fucking disgusting.
That is disgusting. You should not be thinking about. Know that my thing is, I hate when parents get like this, because most parents do, is they get adults and they have children, they forget what it was like when they were teenagers. Mm-hmm. But you are fucking and busting open hymens when you were a fucking teenager. To think that now that your child's a teenager, but also the reason why he's like this, and I can tell you exactly why he's like this, is these men who have these daughters, they picture every other dude out there to be the same dude that he was when he was a teenager. You were fucking these girls and not giving a fuck, and they were falling in love with you, and you were breaking up with them and cheating on them and doing all of this. And now you were like, I don't want nobody to treat my daughter like that. But if you raise your daughter with the basic human skills to be prepared for what could come her way, she will be able to then make her own educated decisions to be, okay, you know what? You fucking around, I don't want you. So...
But to piggyback off of what you're saying about that attitude of he's doing that because he knows what he was doing at that age, what men were doing at his age. and maybe he doesn't want that to happen to her. But if you take those experiences of how you treated women, and then let's say, hopefully you would have learned, like, hey, this is not the way to treat them. I don't think he has, because he seems to be very misogynistic.
Yeah.
But in an ideal world, he takes those experiences and be like, you know what, baby, let me tell you how men are, so you can be ready as you're growing up. A lot of men will do this, and the third, and I know because I did it, and I don't want you to go through the same thing. Instead of policing her, educate her, have an open dialogue, so that at the time, this is what irritates me too. Parents won't have open conversation with their kids, and it makes me like, so do you not remember why you didn't discuss things with your parents? It's because you didn't feel comfortable, because they police things or they said or acted a certain way. Don't treat your child like that. If you have this open dialogue, if you have open conversation and you don't really have any judgmental means to it, your kid's going to be more willing and open to, when she first has sex, come and talk to you about it. Like, okay, this happened. Or maybe if she's thinking about it, she'll have a conversation with you so you can educate her more, or tell her, make sure you're ready, blah, 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 blah. But when you don't do that, your kid sneaks behind your back and starts doing all this shit, learning it all on their own, probably getting pregnant, probably getting somebody else pregnant, probably catching something, because you wouldn't sit down and fucking talk. You decided to police and act all extra and shit, like you wasn't doing that shit when you were younger.
Exactly.
Like, it's all stupid. But a lot of people are coming at those women too, like I was saying, and they put out an apology, which was stupid, but they said, to everyone confused, angry, and hurt by the recent episode of Ladies Like Us, we want to start off by saying that we sincerely apologize for our knee-jerk reaction to the uncomfortable topic. We were now I will say that it did seem like they were uncomfortable, because the way that they were laughing and some of the jokes they were making about calling him crazy and stuff like that. I mean, they didn't do enough to confront him, but I will say, to play devil's advocate, you could tell to me, instead of just being an outraged person, I could tell that they were very uncomfortable in that situation. I don't think they knew what to do, and like she said, it is a knee-jerk reaction, but I feel like you should have just left it alone, girl. But anyway, said, we were completely caught off guard, shocked, and looking back, we should have reacted much differently in the moment. The comments that were made and the reaction that followed are not in any way a reflection of our personal views on the topic. We support and love women and feel that their bodies are theirs to do as they wish. There was absolutely no ill intent towards any party involved, and feel deeply awful about the entire incident. We are not perfect, take full accountability for our lack of action, and are continuously learning along the way. We know an apology doesn't make this go away, but we welcome the discussion. That's what our podcast is about. Sincerely, I don't know how to say the names. I know how to say the one name because it's Nadia, but this other bitch's name is Nazanin, maybe? I think it's Nazanin. Anyway, they took that podcast down, that episode, I'll say, so after all the pushback came for it. But again, y'all sat there and giggled, laughed, and kikied. I understand y'all may have felt uncomfortable, but I can only speak for myself. T.I., I would have clapped him up right then and there. Like, why the fuck are you doing this to your daughter? Yeah. Especially because he doesn't do this to his son. Because everybody had brought up about how his son in an episode, now we had not found the clip to record that part and play it for you. Yeah. His son in one of the episodes had admitted, 14, mind you, had admitted that he had had sex.
I'm sure he thought that was real cute.
He thought it was real motherfucking cute, bitch. He said in the clip, he's like I said, I'll play it in a second. He says in the clip, I don't really want any of my kids having sex, but I feel much differently about a boy than a girl. And I'm just like, but that's fucked up.
That is fucked up.
Just so you understand.
But the thing about...
Because it's okay for your son to go do all the things you don't want done to your daughter, to somebody else's daughter.
You're going to do it to somebody else's daughter.
Fucking... stupid that is and contradicting.
Double standard. The thing is, though, we all know why it is. Mm-hmm. We know exactly why it is. It's like, as soon as a man is waiting for the day he find out his son is fucking a girl. Yeah. Because he ain't gay. God of relief. You know, and so we all know exactly why that is. That some fathers take their sons out to go fuck strippers and prostitutes and whatnot. So you're fucking disgusting. That's all I got to say.
But this is... Oh, I have my AirPod on. Let me take it out. Okay.
I'm Terry. Hey, you having sex? That's what he's saying. Oh, King, that told on himself. You just broke your mama heart. You just went and gave them husbands your innocence. Yeah, you see what he done did? I don't want any of my children to have sex before It's time for them, but who's to say when it's time? However, I will definitely feel different about a boy than I will about a girl. And that's just God's honest truth. I don't think there's any father out there who will tell you any different.
So for me, the main thing I want to touch on, because I already talked about him and the whole son and daughter situation. But when he says, I don't want any of my kids to have sex before it's time for them. Who knows when it's time for them? Now, this may be controversial. Maybe they feel like it's time for them at 14. They feel like it's time for them at 17. Maybe they feel like it's time for them at 25. But you're saying that about your son. Your daughter, if it was truly something where you don't want them to have sex before it's time for them, and it was their option and choice, you wouldn't be taking your daughter to the gynecologist every motherfucking year to make sure her hymen is intact. Because if it was something that you were just wanting them to be ready for themselves, you wouldn't need to be feeling like you're in that room. I could even see if he was taking them to the gynecologist and it was like, okay, go ahead and do this test. I'm going to leave out the room. If her hymen isn't intact, you can just have a discussion with her, let her know the basics about sex or whatever the risk and all that kind of stuff is. Let her know. I'm going to step out. Y'all had a conversation. I couldn't even understand you doing that if it was just that important to you to do all this checking. But you in the room with her, I couldn't imagine how uncomfortable it must be for her to be in that room every motherfucking year. Because the way he said he does it, he says that on her birthday...
He leaves a sticky note.
Yeah, he leaves a sticky note on her fucking door. And it's like, gynecologist. And it's like, bitch, I'm like, daddy, get out my damn face.
I would look out. I'd be like, you know what? I'm leaving. You won't see me up in here. I personally, I'm just not okay with that.
Luckily she's going off to college.
I'm definitely not okay with the double standard. And I absolutely know that exactly why it is. And I know the psychology behind it is fucked up. But you know what's so crazy about it? Because listening to him, he sounds just like my daddy. A good old Southern man. I mean, they like listen because my daddy has that same type of accent, and I was like, oh, he sounds so much like my daddy. Like, oh my god. But I'm sure I don't know. I couldn't even tell you how my daddy feels about that. My parents did not talk about sex. Really. So, I mean, it wasn't ever anything. We didn't have no conversations. It wasn't none of that. But, and of course,
but even that I feel is unhealthy. So not have any discussion.
I mean, it is unhealthy. It definitely is. And I feel like it left room for a lot of confusion.
Because if you were, either you or your brother were a girl and y'all got pregnant, okay, you didn't say shit about this. You didn't inform anybody. So now you really can't be too mad that I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Like, my mother is very prudish. I would say my father is not, since he was a good old hoe. But, but I wasn't really. My father, my parents got divorced when I was 7. After that, you know, a whole lot of things happened. But definitely, we didn't have a close relationship after that, and so we weren't really talking about much, to be honest. So I don't know, but what he would have said, or if he would have had that conversation with me, I couldn't say. But it's. I really don't have anything else to say about that.
His daughter, people were like, so people that went on her page to see if she was like kind of defending her dad or whatever. She really hasn't said anything about it from what I saw, but she liked a lot of people's tweets that were like coming for her dad. People that were like, this is fucking disgusting.
I wouldn't have a relationship with my father after that. I honestly wouldn't.
But it just shows how uncomfortable she is about the situation, that she doesn't like it. For her to be liking,
because he wanted to say that she didn't have any. Because from what I was reading when I was reading articles about it, the way he was trying to make it sound, it was like, okay, he made the decision that he was gonna do it, but he was like, oh, she didn't give me no pushback. We said it because apparently, you know, when they went to the gynecologist the first time, he had to sign a waiver. Because they're not supposed to give him that information.
Once she turns 18, you're not supposed to do that.
They had to sign a waiver and all of that type of stuff. And she had to give the permission. So he was like, oh, there was no pushback. She signed it. We signed it.
You pretty much made it.
I'm sure that she probably was terrified. More than likely, who wouldn't be? And... You know, and the thing about fathers, and definitely the thing I say about Southern fathers, is that, they are typically aggressive. And he seems aggressive.
He does seem aggressive.
And so I'm pretty sure she probably was terrified and was like, you know what? I don't want to be in trouble after this. Sign this waiver. Get this test over with. I want to go home.
My thing is, though, I can't remember if I just talked to you specifically about this, or if I brought this up on the podcast, one of the last few episodes. Iggy Azalea was telling everybody about how misogynistic, how he belittles women, and all that. But didn't nobody listen to her because she's just a white girl that everybody loves to hate because she's a rapper. Nobody listened to her. Now all of a sudden it comes full force in your face, and you see first just how much of a misogynist he is.
Well, I'm gonna just say he's a typical Southern man. He's from Atlanta. Mm-hmm. He is a typical Southern man. That's how men in the South think. They definitely have different rules for women than they do for men. Very much so. And they kind of treat women as second class citizens, and I'm just gonna be very honest about it. Mm-hmm. So. In saying it, I'm not saying it's okay just because I'm saying he's a typical Southern man, but that is just a mindset, and it's a cycle. They are raised to believe that. They raise their kids to believe that, and then they, it just goes on and on and on, and like until somebody breaks it. And so, I hopefully. We all know that the South is light years behind everybody else. I'm from the South, I know. And so it is definitely a very misogynistic place where they do believe that the woman should be barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. And the man is supposed to work and never cry and not have emotions. And all of that is very much something that's implanted into the South.
And I already know that people are going to, I'm sure there are people out there already, maybe, that are defending him, talking about well, it's his parenting style, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, that's his parenting style, whatever.
Don't make it right.
It doesn't make it right. But my thing is, no one will be discussing this if you didn't open your mouth. So my thing is, when people are always saying, like, mind your business, it is your business.
Until you put it on Front Street.
Yeah, especially when nobody asked you for this information. You volunteered this because you thought that it was going to be a cute little kiki that everybody's going to be behind you.
People going to be writing books about this.
Not going to be writing the books that you going to think it is.
Right.
But, like, anytime anybody's parenting skills comes into question, I'm always just like, it's for me, your parenting style is your parenting style, right or wrong, whatever. It's your parenting style.
True.
But when you start putting it out on Front Street, you can't be too mad that you're getting questioned about it. Because now let's say you whoop your kids, and not everybody feels like you should be whooping your kids.
Yeah.
But now when you go around talking about how you slapped your child up and threw him up against the wall and all this, that was unnecessary information.
Yeah, maybe you should be telling people that.
Yeah.
Especially now that people are going to jail for it.
Telling people that or doing it in public. If that's what you're doing behind your closed doors, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I don't really feel like, especially the way people whoop nowadays, it seems. Please stop. Because y'all been doing too much. But, and I got whoopings, and I don't feel any ill intent towards my mom. Did I want them? No. But the thing is, though, when it comes to parenting styles, again, once you put it out there, bitch, you can't tell somebody to mind their business. You cannot tell your business and then tell people to not mind it.
Yeah.
Because was somebody worried about your business until you talked about it, bitch?
Yeah, very true. A lot of people are like, they're going to post everything about their life on social media, but then again, you shouldn't have an opinion about it.
And not to tell people to not feel like they can talk about their stuff. My thing is, there's a reaction to every action that you make.
Yeah.
And you can't...
People can't have an opinion about what they don't know.
Yeah.
If you put it out there...
Yes. That line itself. They cannot have an opinion about what they don't know. So when you enlighten them, bitch, you can't get mad that they have now formed an opinion.
Exactly. I feel that way. I'm a very opinionated person, but I'm the type of person, if I don't want nobody's opinion, I don't tell nobody. Yeah. I keep it to myself. And that's just me. I don't go asking for advice and then be like, you know what, I didn't like that advice. You shouldn't have given it to me. But you asked for it.
Right.
So it's very much that way for me. And I don't think that whoopings are just necessary. I feel like there are a time and a place for them. Mm-hmm. My mama didn't really beat the shit out of us. We didn't really get that many whoopings. I probably can count on one hand how many times I've gotten a whooping in my lifetime. But
I'm gonna say I can't. But my mama clapped me up when she come over here now. So I am fucking 30 years old. She will come over here, throw me on the couch, and beat my ass.
No, my mother was not a whooper. She absolutely hated it. When I tell you, when she did have to whoop us for whatever, and if she did, I would say it was a valid reason. We deserved it at that time, you know.
I mean, yeah, definitely.
But
I can't say my mom ever just was like,
come here,
you dumb bitch.
That wasn't my mama. My mama was a very loving and nurturing woman. But she did whoop us when she had to. When I tell you, it tore her up to whoop us. If she had to whoop us, She'll be crying along with us. And then after you went in your room and you mad and you close your door, you don't want to talk to nobody. She come there, you want to go to the toy store or something? She wants to make up for it. So,
my mother is the type of person that will whoop you, and then you crying. She'll be like, I'm going to give your ass something to cry about. She don't stop. I'm like, but you did give me the reason.
You already did.
That's why I'm crying now, girl.
You know, my mama definitely absolutely hated it, but
I feel like my mama's gonna listen to that. I don't think she knows about the podcast, but if I tell her, I know she's gonna listen to it. She's just that kind of mom. My mom is a very supportive woman, which I'm very happy about. But I know once I let the deep slip, she's gonna listen to that. She's gonna hear this episode. And I already hear her in my ear. I don't do that. Yes, you do, Angela Collins. Yes, you do.
I love Angie. But I guess we can end it now.
Yeah, that was the last thing I wanted to talk about was that little T.I. situation. Him being the annoying piece of shit that he is. Again, nobody will be discussing this if you did not open it up. And I wish, not so much so that we wouldn't have this discussion, but I wish that he would have never said it just so his daughter could continue to have her privacy.
Yeah, because I'm quite sure she's in college and everybody's coming up to you, girl. Your hair, I'm still intact, girl.
People were like literally on her Twitter, or no, it was Instagram that she had to like turn the comments off. People were asking her, "Can I take your virginity?" and shit like that. She wasn't getting that kind of bullshit before you opened your motherfucking mouth.
Disgusting.
It really is.
But on that note, we will go ahead and end it, and we will be talking to you again next week.
Next week, where hopefully nobody else has died over this chicken sandwich. Let's just hope that. Can we just put that into the ether? Yeah. Nobody else died over a motherfucking chicken sandwich. But anyway, I forgot what I was about to say. Anyway, have a great rest of your days, lovelies, and we will talk to you guys all next time. Bye!
Or not.
Is it off?
It's not. Oh my God.